Welcome to episode number 78 of the Solo Gamer Podcast. This one's coming from a few weeks ago, from before the holidays. We had planned a fun little episode, and things kind of got delayed. And we're happy to be here to bring it back and just have a little nostalgic evening. Taylor, welcome in, man. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you guys again. Another week is here, and this was a topic that we were going to break into before the holidays here. So, but excited to talk about this one. This is one of our favorite consoles of all time, like 100%. So I think we'll have a lot of good things to say about it.
There's nothing wrong with a little belated birthday. I don't think
For sure.
I don't think Microsoft will mind. I don't think
right.
I've given them enough money over the years.
Yeah, need some positivity thrown their way.
Yeah. Kyle, what's going on, man?
Not much, dude. Pretty busy with the, NFL playoffs. Just kind of had my mind wrapped around that a lot, especially this week. Now that our
Great
teams
games.
are getting into it. Outside of that, steady with the gym, and we've been watching the Fallout show though. That's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, we're on season 2 right now. Pretty much every Sunday, maybe Saturday this week as well, depending on how. So both of our teams play on Saturday. So Fallout will probably get played about as quickly. The speed at which Fallout is brought up on the television to be watched will depend on whether or not we won those playoffs.
Right. Yeah.
If Fallout is on within 25 minutes of the game being over, it was not a good day for us.
Right. Yeah.
Otherwise, because I usually after a big win, I want to watch everything and watch the post game and watch the interviews and watch all the people who picked against my team talk about why they were wrong. I just love all that stuff. So I usually get pretty distracted with all that, and you want to talk about the game, but man, if it's a loss, it's like, just put Fallout on. I don't want to think
You're
about
right.
it. I'm numb. I don't want to think about it.
I need to escape now.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, we've been doing that kind of like a nightcap after football Sundays, 3 of us watching that. So I'm definitely curious to see where that's going to go. Fallout, interesting enough, it's definitely Fallout 3, one of the bigger releases for the 360. And I feel like, and we're going to get into the topic, of course, in a little bit, but I'm really excited to do this one because I guess everyone has a different feeling of when golden ages were for games or for different things in general, different mediums, like golden age of film and all of this music. I really do, at least for single player story based gaming. I do feel like that 360 PS3 era was tops. Like it's hard to beat all the great single player games that came out at that time and how quickly they came out and how quickly we got sequels. So there is no end of games and memories and things to discuss. It'll be a fun night for sure. Of course, we got to start out with what we've been playing and just kind of catch us up a little bit just on your week and your life too. It doesn't have to just jump straight into the game talk, but Taylor, what's been going on with you, man? How's life? What games have you managed to squeeze in this week while you've been working and everything else?
Yeah, it's been a pretty productive week from a work standpoint and also just a game standpoint. I feel like I've been able to get both of them in good measure. Speaking of TV shows, actually, as everybody kind of knows, I kind of struggle with keeping up to date with TV shows lately.
Same.
But Fallout is one I'm definitely going to get to at some point. But I was going to ask, have you guys watched that Pluribus show?
No. I've seen it. I see that it's from the same gentleman who helped write and create Breaking Bad. So obviously that has me interested. But I have not.
Yeah. It's really, really good. Me and Anna just watched like the first 2 episodes of it, so we're on the 3rd one now, and it's really, really interesting. Like what a weird concept for a show, but like you guys will have to, if you guys end up watching it, which I recommend it. It's really, really good so far. It's kind of one of those things where it's like it's a very interesting premise, and then you're kind of like, where do they go with this story? and it just like I can't even imagine how this ends up being like 8 episodes of a TV show in a really good way. Like, it's going to take some crazy turns. So I'm excited to hear what you guys think about it. But it's the first like live action show that's like captivated me in a while. So I've been excited about that one.
Yeah, we've been struggling. We've been struggling to get through shows. We're doing our best. I think the football stuff definitely hurts.
Yeah.
We spend so much time watching football on the weekends. Sunday is like the ultimate gaming and TV show and movie watching day for me in the off season.
100%.
Even during other sports that I enjoy, like baseball and stuff, that's not on every single Sunday, and you don't even really have to watch it if you just want to you can keep an eye on the score, and maybe it's close in the 7th or 8th and pop in and watch the end or whatever, because there's 162 games. So we just tend to get a lot more done entertainment wise from February through August, I would say. But right now we're watching the show that Alicia and I are watching together is The Pit, which both of us have families with medical backgrounds. Alicia's dad and her mom are both. Her dad's a physician's assistant, or was the physician. He's retired now, and her mom was a trauma flight nurse. So watching this,
cool.
My mom is a microbiologist and has been working with doctors and nurses and everybody for decades, through that. So, but all of us, we're just very aware of the medical field and the people who work in it and the difficulties with it, and how sometimes we talk about it like it's not thankless, but a lot of people really hate on a lot of people I talk to just hate doctors and hate their doctors and hate just generally. I don't think they know what a lot of people are going through. So it's incredible. It's being praised as like one of the most realistic, true kind of vision of life in a urban ER. It's less about the soapy drama, like Grey's Anatomy, which is kind of more about the doctors romancing one another in the utility
love triangles.
Yeah. And much more about what it's really like to work 15 hours, and each episode is 1 hour of this doctor's shift. It's kind of following the whole crew, and it's just the whole season is just a single shift, a single day. In this ER, it's absolutely incredible so far. We're just a few episodes in. I couldn't recommend it enough. So the second season is, I think, just about to drop or just came out. So we've been watching the first one.
Heck yeah, man.
Good stuff.
Yeah, it's been awesome. But you've been so you finished Blur? You said you just watched a few episodes, right?
Yeah, we're doing like an episode a night. So we started like earlier this week, I think, and it was kind of like it was a thing for both me and Anna. We were like, both of us are really bad at like watching TV shows, so we're just gonna like pick one that like both of us are interested in and just like watch it. So
yep. It's good. It's funny how things are so cyclical, because I almost prefer having it be one a week. I'm almost more likely to start like Fallout. We're a few episodes behind. I think there's 4 out and we've watched 2, but it's like, okay, once a week. Kyle's usually over at our house watching football anyways.
Yeah.
And it's all over by 8:30. Let's watch a Fallout. And you're not starting, there's 24 episodes. You got to get caught up.
Yeah.
This kind of feels more manageable, and I kind of like watching the one a week show.
Yeah, with how long it takes for the next, those seasons to kind of come out too, it's kind of nice that we take our time with them. So
that's a great point. Yeah, they're definitely not hitting the year cycle.
Yeah.
Anymore with these shows. It's like each one takes like 2 or 3 years, it feels like. So
yeah,
that's a good point. But yeah, Taylor, man. So okay, cool. You're watching a show. You're maybe a little after that, you grab your controller.
Yeah.
Turn one of these consoles on. What do you got going over there?
So yeah, I think I brought it up last week, but I ended up finishing Donkey Kong Bonanza for Switch 2.
Mm-hmm.
So very, very strong ending to that game.
Cool.
was kind of one of those things where one of my criticisms for the game was that I didn't think it felt enough like Donkey Kong. It kind of feels like if you took Donkey Kong and kind of transported him to like Mario, which they're kind of in the same universe, but like, I don't know, the feel that I get from a Donkey Kong game is from those old, like, late 90s, early 2000s, like Rareware game versions of Donkey Kong. So like their stamp on Donkey Kong and their like tone and style is kind of what I've come to expect from those particular games. So, if you take the two 3D Donkey Kong games, you have 64 and you have Bonanza. They definitely feel like they're in different universes. And so I wish that they would have been able to bridge that gap a little bit better. But the ending of the game is like phenomenal. Like I really had a good time with it. And I brought it up before, but it's just classic, Nintendo doing what Nintendo does best, making a really fun platforming action game that's fun to control and fun to move around in, and just brings you a lot of good, fuzzy, warm feelings of nostalgia all at the same time. So it was excited to get that one done. It's officially my first game I finished for 2026. So I have that game track app that I've been using to kind of track my backlog. And every year I've been setting like a backlog goal for myself where I will play usually one game a month. That's like kind of a backlog game. So I'll set myself up for like a 12 game goal for the year. So it feels nice to already have one kind of in the books before January is over, which is nice,
Yeah,
which
that's
I'm
great.
excited about.
I'm definitely not doing that. We'll see. Maybe I still have half the month to go, but
yeah. Right. Well, last year I didn't even get close. Like I think I got to like 7 or something like that.
I'm glad that you're there with me, because that's usually, I think I'd have to go back and check. I found a cool website that I really like. That kind of, it doesn't have an app yet, but I'm looking forward to. I think it's called Backlogged.
Yeah, I've heard of that one. It's a good one.
I'm kind of messing with it and trying to get it caught up to what I have on my IGN one on my phone. But if I look at games that I played last year, played and finished games last year, it's really cool how it. Here, I might even share my screen real quick with you guys, because this is pretty.
Yeah,
cool.
do it.
I gotta remember how to freaking do that. Share screen.
I've been even kind of looking for another like service too, because like I want more of like I want to like see what you're playing. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
it's
sure.
like I want to be able to like be like, what's Ian playing right now, and pull up his
that would be
thing
cool.
and
that
like,
would be
look at it.
Yeah, that would be really cool if we could do that, and maybe that's something in the future that they can figure out. So if I go, I was just looking at view all, so like it breaks it down on a little calendar, which is cool. So I can see everything I played. So 2025, I put in Starfield. I finished it before then, but I kept playing it, and I finished a bunch more content. So I feel like I played just about everything that I was planning on playing it. So I put that there, finished that in January, and then all these. So let's see, I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games last year. Is all I managed to finish.
There you go. Hey,
so
it's a pretty good amount still.
And then I think if I go to games, I think so. Here, like you go to backlog, and it's like alphabetical. I think right here looks like that's all I have in there. I haven't finished.
That's cool.
Adding games in yet, and then there's playing, which I think I've not been on here for in a while, so I got to update this because obviously I finished that. And then played, and I was trying to put in everything that I had since I started tracking.
Yeah.
So, and I put in around the dates. I was using my achievement information to see what days I got my last achievement that after I stopped playing it. So this is everything I've beaten since I've started tracking, which I think was in end of 2023, which is not much. It's cool. Hard, man. It's hard to play enough games. Plus, you're playing other stuff. You're playing Total War and stuff, which doesn't ESO. None of that ever really goes away.
Yeah, how many campaigns can I put up here?
Yeah, exactly.
One per each.
If we're talking campaigns, I've beaten a lot of games.
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool though. I might have to get on that. I like how that's all that's laid out.
It does.
It looks
really
great.
Nice. And then there's a wish list, which I actually just put in for games I'm looking forward to that aren't out yet, kind of a thing. So it's fun. It's just kind of a fun way to mess around and keep track of
I
what
love that stuff. I love
Me
like
too.
categorization and like making lists, and God, it just like scratches like a little part of my brain. Love that stuff.
Same.
Heck yeah.
It's definitely something that gets to me. All right, man. Well, what else have you been playing?
Yeah, so other than Bonanza, I've been making some big headway in Avowed. So still having a lot of fun with that one. I feel like I'm flying through this game. Like I'm already at like 22 hours or something like that
Wow.
since I started it like a week and some change ago. So
Yeah.
I've just been playing it. It's kind of weird. It's one of those games where like I kind of meant to pick it up and play it like here and there. Like I'm like, oh, maybe I'll play it for like, 3 or 4 hours a week, while I'm in between some other stuff. But like it just ends up being kind of one of those games where I'm like, I just want to go back into it. Just because I love that universe so much. I think it's such a fun universe to inhabit. I love the Pillars games, so I'm excited to see what happens at the end. They just kind of introduced me to the big like reveal of the game, which I thought was pretty cool. I'm noticing it's kind of interesting in the Pillars universe. There's a lot of like themes that kind of come back up, so it's kind of a theme and reveal that's happened in another game or in one of the Pillars games, but it kind of makes sense why it's coming back up. That it's weird. They have an interesting universe where like the gods of like the Pillars universe are very, very reminiscent to me of like Greek myths. Like
Okay.
all of the gods in the Pillars universe are kind of like feared, and like they're very like mortal feeling gods where like they make mistakes and they're like vindictive and vengeful. And so there's a lot of like really cool parables between some of the things like that, and I really love like Greek myths. I think that those are really fun and interesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Yeah,
the
they're
story,
much more. They're very humanized and flawed and jealous. And
yeah, it's a really cool I don't know, way to write a god character. So like your character is a godlike, which is one of the like races that's in the Pillars universe. So the interplay between like you and the gods is really interesting. So I just got to the big reveal. I think I'm almost done. I want to say I'm in like the last third of the game. So I would anticipate that by next show I should be done with it, which is cool.
Wow.
So I've
Crushed
really
it.
enjoyed my time with it though. It's great.
yeah, you blasted through that, which is awesome.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't even mean to put that much time into it. Honestly, like I was like, oh, maybe I'll pick it up here and there, and ended up having more fun with it than I thought I would.
The
So,
combat's pretty fun, man. You can kind of lose yourself in that.
it is, dude.
Yeah.
I love getting into fights in that game.
It is.
And some of the fights are challenging too. Like I would almost say, like for anybody that's curious about it or wants to get into it, play it on like the hard difficulty, because I think it makes the combat like really really challenging and really fun. Like every encounter is kind of almost like a Doom like puzzle, of like who to take out first and like what route you're going to take to get to the enemy and stuff. So it's been a good time. I've liked it.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool.
But that's pretty much what my weeks looked like.
Heck yeah,
Nice.
man.
Well, I'm glad you're making progress, man. I love that feeling when I'm playing a game and I'm looking forward to get back to it. And I feel like I make progress, and it sort of creates a cycle where it's almost exponential as you just blast through something because you're enjoying it enough to just keep coming back. So that's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm just so thankful too that they're making a sequel out of it too, because I don't think it's a perfect game. I don't think it's going to be for everyone, but I'm glad that they're at least getting a chance to make another one and really like learn from the mistakes of this game and make something like, I think Avowed 2 or whatever it's going to be is going to be like a really, really special game. So
yeah, I would definitely be excited about playing that. It might even, like I was saying, maybe once that gets announced a few years down the line, maybe I'll jump back into Avowed and just give it another shot. Sometimes there's definitely been times where something hasn't hit for me, and then I try it again way later, and I like it a lot more the second time around. Just you've changed a little bit, you've tried more things, your tastes have evolved, right?
yeah,
Maybe you find something in it that you didn't appreciate the first time, even if some of the flaws are still there. So definitely keep that.
Yeah, I'd be down to play the second one. I think I'd be looking forward to that, especially with them like having the actual dedication of making it a sequel in a single player game. Like I think having that time and that focused effort for the entire project would make a pretty big difference, because there are a lot of really good things about that first game.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Yeah, the way that they set up that universe too is it's almost like you can set like every Pillars game so far has been a different set of characters, a different main character. So I found that like this Obsidian team that works on these does a really good job of like almost creating like an anthology of little stories like in this universe that kind of roughly connect to the other ones, but not so much to the point where I'd be like, you got to play through 40 hours of Pillars 1 and 40 hours of Pillars 2 and then Avowed to really understand it. Like, it's not what it's about, It's almost like kind of like Elder Scrolls. Like, each one's going to be in a different time period. Each one of them's going to be in a different continent. So, like, really, there's not like a burning need to like become a lore nerd and really get into the weeds,
Yeah,
I like doing that, but yes, I definitely get that, and that's not what everyone wants to do when they jump.
Me too. Yeah.
But I get that for sure. Kyle, how about you, man? Well, just tell us a little about your week. I know we talked a little bit already. Our mind share right now is largely going to be enveloped with whatever enzyme is manufactured by our brain that creates stress.
Yeah.
Until our teams are out of it, whether that's this week or end of the whole thing, who knows? So obviously that's going on, but how's your week been? What's going on in your life? And if you've gotten time to play some games, what have you played?
Yeah, outside of the football part, which like sports in general, by the way, it's like what a year this has been. It's like so stressful. Mariners had a great run. Now my two favorite teams, Broncos and Hawks, are both making great runs. It's like I can't deal with all this, man. This is too much.
The Seattle's newest sports team, the Kraken, are playing.
Yeah, they're heating up,
playing really well, and getting back into the playoff race and stuff. Which is usually for me. I've noticed this last couple of years. I don't know very much about hockey, but it's hard for me to really dedicate to more than one sport at a time.
Yeah.
So I think probably once football's over, it's like I might be a little bit more in the mood to be like, hey, let's flip on a Kraken game on a Wednesday night or whatever, because there's no football anymore. There's no Thursday. There's no Monday. There's nothing. So I'm a little more likely to want to invest, maybe one game's worth a week or something, and kind of get into it. And usually by then the season is really rolling. So it's been a crazy Seattle sports year, for sure.
So this is the part where I do the Christian Bale. Oh, good for you.
Hey man, I know. It's been a while though. Like we haven't really done much for quite some time.
Really came out of nowhere.
I'm rooting for you guys.
It's nuts.
But outside of that, I've been kind of like traveling over the Seattle area quite a bit, having fun out there last few, weekends. So that's been a lot of fun, kind of thinking about maybe, heading out over there and moving over there again, especially with sports teams being at their height again, it might be a good time to be able to swing over and watch a game every once in a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm at, one but one thing I realized, we were talking about watching shows and whatnot. And I've been kind of thinking about how, it's not, being single, like you don't really like watch shows as much. I don't know about you guys, but like, for me, it's like, I feel like watching shows is like kind of a group thing. So I found it like really hard to just sit my ass down and just watch my own show by myself. I feel like it's, the only time I watch TV is when I'm over.
It is easier. It feels like an event too when you're like watching with other people, because then everybody reacts at the same time to crazy shit happening, and it's a good time.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, the only time I watch TV is when I'm over at your house, Ian. But Game wise, I've been playing Divinity Original Sin 2 some more, getting a little bit further along. It's kind of challenging because I've took the avenue of there's so many different ways you can play, but obviously you have all the four different elements for a mage and then different types of like, assassin or ranged or some sort of knight, that sort of stuff. I chose the route of I'm gonna go like full physical damage across the board, all four of my members. So I've got like an assassin, a ranged guy, the tank, and then just a flat out like two-handed knight. And they're all just doing pure physical damage. So it's been kind of a challenge trying to operate and like avoid, not being able to use the elements when they're really beneficial and they come in clutch. So it's been kind of fun because it's like my third or fourth playthrough. And so now I'm at the point where I'm like, how can I make this a little bit different and more challenging? And so, yeah, I'm definitely hitting some walls and reaching a point where I'm like, this is getting way too hard. Some of these units, these enemies that you run into, they're just loaded with armor. And yeah, it's starting to become a nightmare, but figuring it out, piecing it together. It's a really fun game to kind of experiment with different builds and finding different ways to beat enemies. That's kind of like the Larian Studios, theme is just, allowing you to have versatility and how you want to play your, their games. So, yeah, that's been a lot of fun. Yeah, outside of that, not a whole lot of time, man. Between gym and going over to Seattle and then hanging out with you guys on the weekends to watch football. It's feel like I've been just on the move 24/7 and haven't had a moment to really kind of sit down and enjoy something except for when I'm working. And so that's, Divinity Original Sin 2 is kind of nice because I can turn base it in the background while I'm working. So
yeah, it is nice to have. I dropped something here. One second.
And there's only so many Total War campaigns I can play before I'm like, all right, I gotta find another one to do while I work.
Well, you gotta take a break. I mean, even if you're enjoying something, it definitely you just want to do something else, So I totally get that. I don't even if I could play games while I worked, I think it would have to be something that's almost more like menu based or something. I feel like I would just
very passive.
I just have to constantly, like tonight even, I'm checking the inbox and making sure no one's reaching out for anything important, So it's like, I don't know, it's hard for me in the middle of the day, even when I work from home, even if I wanted to. My lunch break, that's one of my favorite things. Like sometimes I'll take my lunch break when I work from home. You just hit clock out, spin around, go right to the other computer, and just play some games for a while. And that's always a lot of fun to be able to just unwind like that. So that's been good.
Your job kind of requires, your hands to be on the keyboard and like typing and like. For me, it's like most of what I'm doing is I'm on the phone having a conversation. I do have to type out the conversation, kind of, what is said and whatnot. But
summary. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the summary. But that's something that I can either delay or get caught up on ahead of time and then just have a conversation with somebody. And so, pick up an Xbox controller and be like, yeah, tell me your problems, dude. What's up? What's going on?
Yeah. You also have a better, I think you're
fun visual.
You probably have a little bit better. I'm really bad at paying attention to multiple. Like I had to close backlog while you guys were talking, or I wouldn't have even just looking at pictures of art, game case art would make it like, wait, what game did he say he was playing? I really struggle with that. So, I don't even think I could do that. But yeah, definitely different. I mean, when I did a job somewhat similar to yours, there's definitely those long moments in between where I remember when I was working at Waste Management, I was there and I was pretty good at dealing with angry people and making them not angry anymore. And so they ended up giving me like the supervisor calls, even though I was not a supervisor in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
So if you're ever calling a place and you're a person asking for a supervisor, the first person you get may or may not be a supervisor. They're probably
that's the truth.
Just developed a reputation for being a little bit better at listening and figuring out your problem and getting you off of the line of the people that just need to keep going.
You're right.
Yeah, that's a hot tip, actually. Yeah, because most of these agencies know that as long as you say that you're a person of authority, most people are going to listen. So,
yeah, and obviously, if you make a big enough stink, it keeps going. But usually, the people who are doing that are like just dead wrong about whatever they want.
Yeah,
and so it doesn't matter how many people you speak to. Like, you can't do X, Y, or Z. So sorry.
Yeah,
that's not how it's gonna work.
Try to tell them.
Yeah, I tried to tell them. Yeah.
Despite your best efforts.
Despite the best effort. For me, pretty much playing all the same stuff that I was playing last week. I've been just really jumping around with Total War, playing different. I love the first 20 to 30 turns in Warhammer. Just kind of getting a feel for different factions.
That's
fun.
That's the best part.
The setup.
It's the best part. And there's every now and then I'll get a campaign that I like so much that it actually continues to get better as you go. But I just really like kind of the early part of making the plans of what you're going to conquer next, and like kind of how building up your cities and getting the first time you start to get more advanced units and new kind of your armies start to look different. It's just fun. It's a lot of fun. So I've just been, whenever I get a chance, just playing different factions. It's been a lot of fun. I still making my way through Mass Effect. I recruited Archangel, and now
nice
mid mission for recruiting Morden. So I'm early on in Mass Effect 2. I just play that for, I don't know, a couple hours a week. It's kind of like it's been like my Friday night game, where it's kind of after a long day's work and it's getting a little bit later. I just put that on. It's kind of comforting. I know what to expect, and it's not going to challenge me in any way.
I totally get that.
Which is kind of nice, and it's been fun. Just I'm seeing little things that I've never seen before in these other games, like for my other playthroughs, like this, all the different renegade right trigger moments that I've just never hit because I've never made it this far as a renegade. So I'm getting to see a lot of those, which is really cool. Just fun, just a different flavor of that. New Vegas still playing. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, it's funny you mentioned that, because I'm gonna get a little bit off topic, but one of the most, I think, just from my experience, my perspective, one of the most compelling arguments about, when you're deciding on whether or not you want to have kids, in my opinion, I think about how cool it would be to like show your child like the Mass Effect series like for the first time and like go through that experience again. It's just something I've thought about throughout the years of like, that's like one of the coolest things that I could think of about like raising kids. And anyways, I'm getting way sidetracked about it, but like just being able to experience the trilogy again. It doesn't even have to be with kids, but just somebody who wants to play. That's just like so thrilling, because you mentioned it feeling like home, and like that's what it feels like. That's why we keep playing this trilogy over and over again. We know what's happening, but like, and if we could show that and experience that with somebody else who is willing and not being dragged along, that's an incredible experience.
That would be a lot of fun. It reminds me, I've had that experience a little bit. I got my nephew Riley into Star Wars when he was a kid, through all of the Star Wars toys that I had from when I was a kid. I pulled those suckers out. He was 5 or 6, and he's like, "Whoa, what's that?" And you tell him what it's from, and this is from a movie. You want to watch the movie that this AT-AT is in?
Dude, that's so awesome.
The first thing he ever saw was the Battle of Hoth, like no context, because he's 4, like he doesn't know this. He's not gonna be able to follow along with the story, but he likes the big the big robots shooting lasers. That's what he was into at first, and then of course he got super into it later. But it is fun. It's fun to share those things with your family or your friends, and especially when it becomes a really big part of them, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think I don't think I give Rob, my brother, enough credit for making me a Seahawks fan.
Yeah.
That's
fair.
I got utterly obsessed with it. I've far surpassed like his dedication and obsessive, not dedication, but like obsessive knowledge. I'm over here like, oh, did you see who they signed onto the practice squad? No, no, I don't know. They signed onto the practice squad. He doesn't pay attention to that stuff, but But he was the one who got me into it. You want to watch a Seahawks game, and just explained to me how it worked.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there's there's very few things that are more satisfying than showing somebody something that you're really passionate about, and they actually end up really liking it. That's like a really nice feeling.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that feeling. I feel like I'm always chasing that. I'm always
I know, dude. You're always in my ear, like you need to play this game.
And I don't feel like just because I like something,
no. Yeah,
I will make sure and then just tell everyone that everyone will like it. It's if I usually, it's because when I'm playing a game or watching a show or whatever, something about it is making me think about that person, right? So it's like if I'm suggesting something to you, it's because there's multiple times where I was playing this game and I'm like, holy shit, like the first thing I want to do is talk about this with Kyle or Taylor, and I can't. And I know that they would want to talk to me about this moment if they were experiencing it, so I need them to play it, right?
Yeah.
It's just like one of those fun things.
Yeah, I mean, credit to you. You haven't been wrong so far. Anytime I've decided to listen, so
I try to make sure I don't waste the reputation.
Yeah.
I can't just be throwing everything at a wall. That's pretty much all I've been playing. I did throw in on my list Madden. I put kind of in a parentheses because I actually am not playing the game Madden. But I speaking of obsessive, so I go into. The only time I ever really get the itch to play Madden franchise is right after the Super Bowl is over, regardless of who it is. I mean, if the Seahawks make it to the Super Bowl and lose, probably won't play Madden.
Right.
But pretty much any other scenario, if the Seahawks were to lose this week, I have a few weeks, I have a few weeks to heal or whatever. I might still be in the mood after the Super Bowl is over. It's just like, man, what. The Super Bowl looks so cool on television. Just the field looks different. The lighting looks different. The sound. There's something about it. It's like the ultimate game. And so I will start usually around the playoffs. I start a franchise. I adjust the ratings of all the players to kind of match how the team is doing. So if the team had done terribly, I would have reduced a lot of the ratings. Or if they do great, I go up and I change them. And then I go through every single team's schedule. And you can choose which team wins, home or away. And I get like Google, and I'll be like Texans 2025 schedule, and I'll go through and I'll make sure it's right according. So I'll get the whole season simmed out so that it goes exactly that way. And then as soon as the Super Bowl is over, I'm into the off season, and the draft will like reflect the actual teams and where they're picking and stuff. And I start in the second year. From there,
that's a lot of fun.
I usually play for 10 hours in February, and then Madden is so bad that I just kind of give up on it.
It's hard not to.
So I'm kind of hoping that by now, this game seemed a little bit better, or maybe by now it's been updated to a point where it's even a little better. Maybe it's actually a halfway decent game. So I'm going to give it a shot. So I've just been like in the menus, listening to football podcasts and stuff, just in the menus, just getting things ready and putting all the schedules in and simming through the season and upgrading players and stuff. So I haven't played any of it, but it's just something I do because I'm obsessed and crazy and weird.
It's funny you mentioned you wouldn't be playing if Seahawks go to the Super Bowl and lose, because that makes me kind of think of those viral like TikTok clips of like when somebody's favorite team just recently got kicked out of the playoffs or whatever the case may be. And they go and actually play that game on easy against that team and just blow them out like 72-0.
Everyone's thought process is so different, because for me, when the Seahawks lose, like I don't even want to see like a football.
Yeah.
I don't want to see a football field. I don't want to hear anyone say anything about I don't watch any football YouTube content during the week after the Seahawks lose. I just black out of football. I don't want anything to do with it.
That's interesting, because usually my approach is like usually in the lead up to the season is when I start when I get a Madden itch, that'll be like right around the draft, I think. Like in the lead up to like kickoff, that span of a couple months between draft to kickoff and preseason is like where I'll get the biggest Madden itch. But then like usually during the season it won't really hit me.
Yeah, no, same for me. I don't because it's weird because I don't want to be playing the game and have this. This is the first year in a very long time where had I been playing a Seahawks season and winning a bunch of games, that it would have actually matched reality. Normally, for the last decade plus, I'd be playing the game and I think the Seahawks are pretty good, and they'd be 12-5 going into the playoffs, and then in reality they win 9 games and they miss the playoffs and they get blown out the last week or whatever. They're not really any good. So it's I just don't like that weird incongruence. I'm just like, I kind of like to know what things are like, and that's what makes me excited to play later. So
yeah,
always play after the season's over. That's it. That's all I've been playing, really. Just bouncing back between those 2 games. New Vegas, of course, Fallout New Vegas. Making my way through that game. I'm kind of just blasting through the main story. If a interesting side quest kind of just lands right in front of me, I'll do it. But for the most part, I'm just kind of pursuing the main story and seeing how that goes. So
cool, man. Cool.
Well, let's jump into our topic here today. We got a lot of write-ins for this one back when we first asked, because we were originally looking to do this closer to the actual 20th anniversary, which was, I believe, November 2nd. I think was the 22nd, something like that. It's
something like that.
Yeah, November 22nd. 2005. Which is nuts. 360 doesn't feel that old. I think it's because it was such a long generation. Maybe that's what it is. We're coming up on it with this one.
I know.
Because that generation was 7 years long, and this one we're in year 6 right now. So
yeah, so not too far behind.
Pretty
crazy.
Similar. Well, before we read the write-ins, I want to hear just kind of your basic, like, what was your earliest experience with 360 that you can remember? When did you get your first one, or did you play a friend's, or what was the first game you played on it? Just something like that, just to kind of warm us up. And we'll just chat 360 for, I don't know, 30, 40 minutes or something, and just kind of just see what comes up, what memories come out. Taylor, what's kind of your first earliest memory of the 360 and when you first got to play it?
Yeah, so my earliest memory of the 360 was it was Christmas. I got it for Christmas a couple years after it had already been out. So I think that it wasn't the first year that the console was out. It might have been like the second or third year that I got it for Christmas from my parents. And I just remember it being like one of those Christmas presents that you just do not forget. Like you were just so excited about it that you were just like, could not wait to play it kind of thing. And those are kind of like the fondest, like my earliest memories with it, because I just remember getting that, and I got Halo 3 because I was such a big Halo fan at that time that I just could not wait to play it. So I remember my family always does Christmas on Christmas Eve. So we'll like open up our presents on Christmas, and then like Christmas Day is kind of like reserved for like enjoying the things you got and spending time with family. So like I played it like all that night through Christmas Eve, woke up probably at like 1 p.m. or something, because I had stayed up all night playing it to play it all day for Christmas Day. So yeah, I mean, we've talked about it before, but the 360 is it's absolutely a top 3 console for me. It's what a great generation of games to really like get into it too. And I feel like that was kind of the point in time where like multiplayer was kind of on the rise, and it was like the most fun that I've had, like playing games online with people, while also like being buttressed by like really, really good single player games. And that's kind of where I started getting into like longer single player games as well, like reaching into that like 30 and 40 hour mark, because usually like a lot of what I would play is like a lot of the multiplayer stuff with friends online and stuff like that. But every once in a while you'd be offline playing something for 30 to 40 hours and having a really, really good experience, and it helped really shape me as a gamer from a single player standpoint too. So yeah, that Christmas, I won't forget that. It was the white Generation 1 360 model, and I had that model. I still have that model today in my closet. I have like a bunch of like boxes of all my old hardware because that's the only thing I've really kept from my collection. So it's in there somewhere.
There it is.
There it is right there. God, she's
Damn.
beautiful.
And clean. Good work.
This is
clean, yeah.
So I can't take credit for that. This is, well, almost. There's a little scuff right there.
Okay. Yeah, just a little. Those are battle scars.
This is the one that Alicia's family had.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Nice.
Because my OG white is long gone.
Yeah.
I got the red rings, of course, which we'll talk about. I think, and then I ended up buying an Elite, which was black.
Yeah.
And I still have that. I'll find that in here at some point while someone's talking. But I just knew that this was right here because they just bought a new house and moved, and we helped them move. And I got a text from Alicia. She's like, there's some old like video games. There's a 360 here. It's like, I mean, I know you wouldn't play it, but do you want it? And I was like, yes, I want a white. You have a white 360? Yeah, I will definitely take that.
That's cool.
Someday
That's
I'm gonna
crazy.
have somewhere to display all this because this thing is clean, beautiful, and I'm really glad they gave it to me. So, and this is what was called the core, was like the cheaper one, and you can always tell because the cheaper one had the white disc tray that matched the rest of the console. There was the other one. I can't remember what the other one was called. It wasn't Elite. It was something else. I can't remember. But this
was blue, right?
Was
like
chrome. Silver chrome. And that's the one that I had. Just funny, these funny little details.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm in junior high just looking at this. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I know. It takes me back, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, luckily for my console, I had that Generation 1 white 360 and never got a red ring, which I'm really thankful about. But I still have it to this day. It's in my closet. So,
wow.
Kyle, before I jump, because I feel like when you tell me this, your earliest memory, I'm going to go, oh yeah. I'm sure you've told me before, but before that, I just want to make a quick, kind of somewhat unrelated thing that I just realized. It's not perfect, but I keep running into all these weird little universal coincidences that revolve around Seahawks Super Bowls that I've noticed since someone mentioned the whole Pope thing. Do you remember that? Have you heard about the Pope thing?
No, I haven't.
Every time a new Pope has been anointed since 2005, the Seahawks have gone to the Super Bowl.
What?
2005,
Wow.
2013, and 2005, 2013, and then I think there must have been something going on there with in a year, like 1 year apart from each other. But I was talking to my brother Rob. We're big fans of the band Carnival, and they have a new album coming out next month. It's their first album in an incredibly long time. And in fact, their first album came out in 2005. They released another album in there between, and then their last album came out in 2013. And their last, and those are also the 2 years.
Wow, what a weird.
The Super Bowl, the Seahawks went and won the Super Bowl. And then I also remembered that the 360 came out in 2005, and the Xbox One came out in 2013. Also, the 2 years the Seahawks won the Super Bowl. So there's no Xbox coming out this year, unfortunately. But boy, that would have been cool. Unless you want to count the handheld. If the Seahawks win the Super Bowl, I'm counting the handheld.
Okay.
Anyway, it just crossed my mind. I was like, oh, fuck.
This is where George Lucas would say, it's like poetry.
It's
like
poetry. Oh, my God. Anyway, just randomly hit my head. Kyle, what, if you can recall, what's your earliest memory? When did you get your first 360, or what's like kind of the thing that comes to your head when you think about?
Yeah, I don't know exactly when I got it. I know it was a little bit later though, because I think growing up, this sort of stuff didn't come by very often for us. Didn't grow up with
definitely
all the riches in the world. So, and that's normal. But I think the first thing that I think of, which is like one of the earliest releases, is definitely Call of Duty 2.
Yes.
What a classic game. Back when I actually played Call of Duty. I don't even know if I continued playing after that.
That was its heyday, man.
Yeah. So that was one of the first games that actually came out for the 360s. So
It was.
Yeah, playing a lot of Call of Duty 2 with friends online. I remember I played a lot with like my football friends and stuff too. I played a lot of Call of Duty 2 with a lot of different friends. And then the other thing that comes to mind is definitely, obviously, Madden and Halo are, the two things that definitely come to mind. Playing with friends, and we'll get into it more. But I think that's kind of like my fondest memories. Just playing online shooters, which is crazy to think about because it's totally not something that I do anymore. Online shooters are just kind of dead to me a little bit. I mean, Helldivers 2 is a lot of fun, but I don't know what it was. There was something about it back in the day where I was like so into it, and now I like you couldn't pay me to play a shooter.
I think it was novel. Do you think
Yeah.
that's what it was?
Wasn't as saturated.
Yeah.
Call of Duty 2 was the first online multiplayer game I ever played in my whole life. When did that game launch? Let's see here. Because Call of Duty 2 360 launch.
I'm looking at
Is that?
Oh, that was November 17th, 2005. That's what I'm saying. It's like one of the first games that came out.
It did come right out at the same time. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So I knew it was around the same time. I just didn't know if it launched like right with it. So I remember my memory of getting it it's funny because I didn't have that classic Christmas story. I did not get it for Christmas that year. In fact, I typed Call of Dirty, Durty.
Call of Dirty.
Boy, I don't want to see what that would bring up if I did.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
dude,
a parody
I am,
of some kind.
Safe search is on, folks.
Yeah.
It's gonna be okay.
How did I? Okay, I didn't even mention, by the way. Actually, so I do now know that it took me a couple years. So everybody else had it first. I remember because I remember going to friends' houses and they had the 360 before I did. Because I have a very fond memory of going to my friend Jared's house and watching him play Oblivion.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
My first
Came out
experience.
in March of 06.
Yeah, my first experience with Oblivion was watching somebody else play it. I think that was my first experience with Elder Scrolls, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was same for me too.
For you as well. Yeah. That was a huge one. I mean, that I had my 360 by then because I remember, I don't know why I remember this, but I got my 360 in a very kind of like roundabout way in February of 2006. We were at Costco, and I can't remember if my parents were planning on getting it for me because we were just talking about. Of course, I was just incessant, just like, oh, look at this and look at that and look at this. And my dad has never really played a lot of video games, but he's really always been very interested in them. And he likes to watch people who can do it a little bit better play. He's like, wow, look at those graphics. He's always thought they were really cool. He just never really played on his own. And so that was always like my in because my dad liked him. So I could show him clips, or I could go online and show him a video, or I could get my Game Informer and show him pictures of these. Look at these graphics. He'd go, whoa, that's out now. You get him excited. I could get some help. I was like, he was my ally. My mom is not. She like almost kind of despised them because my brothers were not very responsible with video games growing up in the 90s. But so I remember this, it was just sort of this like family tension moment where it was like, she didn't really want to spend the money on it. My dad was like, we should get it, and somehow we were at Costco and they were like, I don't know if I just broke their will or if they had already kind of decided.
You've worn them down.
But we walked out of the East Wenatchee, Washington Costco with a fucking mega pack, 360 that came with Call of Duty 2.
Nice, yeah.
Controller, and I think it came with like Project Gotham Racing 2 or something like that. It came with something like that.
Maybe Perfect Dark Zero. That was one of the first games.
Yeah, that was up there too. I have a memory tied with that game too, which is you are involved in, I believe, Kyle. Because let's see, it would have been 2000 and that was 2006. I'm trying to I can remember because we became friends in 2004. You may have been there for that, but I'll get into that later. I got the I got the 360. I remember it's the only time my mom has ever shown interest in anything because we were playing Call of Duty and I had a headset and like she was watching and being like, "Wait, so you're shooting at these guys and those guys are being played by other people on their couches in their house?" And I was like, yes, that's what's happening. And it was just kind of mind blowing.
Yeah.
It was sort of our generation's version of being introduced to the internet, right? Internet came around. I was born in 91, so the internet came out in 91. So I've literally existed as long as the internet has. I am as old as the internet. So there wasn't a moment where I lived a large portion of my life with nothing, with no internet, and then you're seeing what the internet is and how it's changing things. So I feel like that was for me is one of those moments where it was like sitting there and I remember realizing how insane this was. And even my mom, who hates video games and knows nothing about them, was asking questions because it was kind of blowing her mind.
Yeah.
So crazy.
Yeah. I remember having that conversation with my dad too, because he was like trying to help me set up my original Xbox to play Halo 2 online.
Oh yeah.
And like, I didn't really understand how to do it. And he has always had like kind of a cursory knowledge of like electronics and stuff like that. Like he's not really into it either, but like he has just always had the common sense to be able to figure it out pretty well. So sure. I remember we had hooked up the original Xbox to like the Ethernet to like the modem so I could play like Halo online. And I remember having that like exact same conversation with him playing Halo 2. And he was completely flabbergasted at the idea of like me playing with somebody in New York who was also at their house, playing a game together.
And I remember thinking, that's it is weird to just imagine that at the time. And you're like, wait, and you can hear them?
Yeah.
That was crazy actually, because this is like unfiltered. There were no rules back in the day.
Boy.
No,
boy, did you hear some crazy shit at 13 years old,
Yes. Oh my God. Absolutely. That's something else, man. It really and it's funny now. It's funny that how that has completely disappeared from online gaming.
Yeah.
Completely. It's gone.
Oh yeah. I know that like for me personally, like that era of gaming with people on microphones, while also fun, was I felt the moment where like gaming had kind of hit like a toxicity point. And nowadays I don't even like screw around with the microphone. I'll just unmute the chat, I'll mute everything, so that way like if anybody's giving me a hard time or whatever, I just don't have to hear it.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I think it's one of those things where it was so novel and new that even if things were bad, it was just you were just sort of experiencing this in all of its the good, the bad, the ugly, everything with it. I made friends too, right? There was some positive notes to it, and I had a buddy from England that I would play Call of Duty with every week. Every time I could, I would reach out to him and message him on Xbox Live and all that stuff. I mean, I made friends, but yeah, there was also a lot of really bad shit on there and horrible things and just all the things that we kind of take for granted.
We got rid of that.
Someone having a fan on in the background or
boy.
Playing music.
The horrible microphones we had back in the day.
Yeah. You just like barely even understand what.
Dude, and there is.
I even think about just the headsets too. Like nowadays, like this headset I'm using right now, I could plug into a controller and it has like an actual like little microphone to it, that actually like goes to my mouth. We were playing with these dinky little microphones too, like with just like goes around one ear. God,
just
remember that used to bother me.
Strange noises of humanity that would erupt, like you would get in the lobbies between matches. You'd come back from winning a match of Call of Duty 2 or whatever, and all of a sudden you're back into that lobby for a second, and half the people are like, "You're like, what is happening?"
Y'all are ass.
Oh,
Yeah.
You're a bitch.
Bacon and eggs, dear. Yeah.
Like, what is
Oh
going
my
on?
God. What a time to be alive, man.
It was something else. It was definitely something else, man.
Yeah.
Good times though. Like good times now, right? I mean, back then it was a little shocking and weird, but
You know what that reminds me of? I remember it was one of our like earlier solo gamer episodes, Ian, where you like made a joke about, I can't remember what game it was, but we were talking about like playing some game, like the story mode version of it or whatever, like the campaign. And like you could have like random people join the campaign, and like I don't know, you made some joke about like sitting there during like a really tense story moment as somebody's in the background just yeah, we're gonna be back there in a second. You know, like, as this tense emotional moment is happening.
Like arguing against the idea of like some kind of jump in co-op in a story game or whatever. That just sounds like the worst idea that I could imagine.
So funny.
I just don't trust people to not do shit like that. Craziness, man. Yeah, it's we'll get into some of our favorite games too and with it, but let's read our write-ins. I want to make sure and get those before we keep going and then go too long. We had a good number here. So Stealing Souls wrote in as well. He said, for me, it has to be playing Star Wars Battlefront with my friends doing LAN parties. Trying not to screen peek one another on the giant TVs, just having hours and hours of back and forth, fighting over planets with galactic conquest. Some of my fondest memories of my life are with the 360 and playing Star Wars with friends. Love the Battlefront games.
Dude, yeah.
It's funny because we were talking about these earlier. I was like, well, both of those were actually OG Xbox games, but I think I was playing Galactic Conquest on Battlefront 2. Well,
I
in the
definitely
360 era.
What a great game.
Was, yeah.
And just sort of the idea that the whole LAN thing, I know that got big with the OG Xbox, but I feel like our experiences there, especially you and I, Kyle, with Guys Night, was definitely that 360 era, Halo 3, sort of 2007, 2008. We have the two TVs, the two 360s, the 8 controllers. You figure it all out. You connect them all together. You get them on the same network, and you're playing 4-on-4 with 2 TVs. I have a lot of. I have a film. I have it on film. Actually, I've got quote unquote film, a DVD. I burned DVDs. I made the last Guys Night that ever was right after I moved to Phoenix. Actually, I came back, and I filmed a lot of it. Because I figured it would probably be the last time that all those people were together for one of those big parties. And we've got some great stuff where I caught a moment on film where my brother Rob was not in this matchup, the 4-on-4 matchup, but my dad was. But my dad gave the controller to my brother Rob, who was much better. But he was still talking to all the people behind him that he was playing against as if he were playing. And he was doing quite well, given that my brother was playing for him. And people were like, "Oh man, Doug got me." Doug never got anybody. Doug just got slaughtered.
Ghost player.
And I remember him trying to like convince everyone over there that he really was playing, and he started like attempting to talk shit. And I have him on film. I'm zooming in on the controller in my brother's hands, and then going to my dad, and he gets a kill or something, and my dad's yelling, "Papa's got a new pair of shoes!"
Dude, yeah, dude. Oh my God. That line,
you gotta upload that somewhere.
That line has stuck with me for my entire life, man.
Papa's got a new pair of shoes. Oh my God. It's just great. I mean, this is like, to me, this is what the 360 is. It's like, this last bastion of sort of, even with the solo gamer, right? And we have a ton of games we're going to talk about that are single player games, but it really was those moments. It's like the last time that we all physically would get together in big groups and play games like that. And just, it's such a great time. Cream Lord of the Cream. He wrote in, he said, by the time the 360 came out, I was fully migrated over to PC, but I will say the 360 was my Rock Band machine, and boy, did I play a lot of Rock Band. Primarily the drums, and I had a ton of DLC for that game. The drums for that game were so good and a legitimate entry point to playing real drums. I had a custom bass drum pedal, too. So he was a big Rock Band kid. You guys have good Rock Band?
Oh, my God, dude. I played so much, Guitar Hero, Rock Band. I mean, at your brother Rob's house, Rock Band was like the thing for a while. That was a lot of fun. Two different elements too, right? I mean, Guitar Hero started to kind of gear towards like a really kind of cool campaign career mode thing. Towards I think like the third one or something like that. A lot of fond memories because my buddy Jared, he's like one of those sickos that like plays like Through the Fire and the Flames and like nearly perfects it, and like he's insane,
expert.
That's insane. That's ridiculous.
He's insane. He actually plays bass for real though, so it makes sense. But
I was gonna say I never was a big Rock Band guy. Guitar Hero was like more my music game for that time, but have a lot of fond memories of both.
I feel like Guitar Hero was like more fun. Sorry, the Guitar Hero was more fun to play by yourself. There's just like two different types of games, right? You know, like it's perfect for like when we were going to your brother Rob's house, Ian. We're playing Rock Band together and just jamming out. Like those are some fond memories for me.
Absolutely. He well, the one I think of is my mom singing "Down with the Sickness." She low-key loved Disturbed in this time. The Rock Band version of the song removed the whole like part where he's talking about his mom beating on him. But my mom knew that part and ad-libbed the whole thing. And my mom is pretty straight-laced and like not it's very out of character for her, and it was very funny, and I will never forget that until the day I die.
That I want to talk about that for a moment. Because knowing your mom, man, like when she came back in her, I think it was her convertible that she had at the time, jamming out to Disturbed when she came back into the garage that one time, it was years ago. That was like such a culture shock for me because it's just that was the first time I had met I had seen all of Jean, all of your mom, you know. Because before that, I thought I had her down. Like I knew she's kind of reserved, and you know when you get to know her, it's like it's kind of hard to read. And then I saw that, and she was like jamming out and rocking out and like having a good time. And we both came out and we were like laughing and then like jamming out and rocking out with her
in her convertible Beetle.
Yeah, and it just changed everything for me, man. That was a very memorable moment.
Yeah, yep. And that's so connected to that Rock Band moment as well. So I just really good call out, Cream Lord. That's a huge
fantastic.
Again, another one of those kind of phenomena that just kind of disappeared.
Yeah,
this era had a lot of that highly successful, innovative ideas that didn't continue to be successful for whatever reason.
Yeah, that came and went in a generation.
I think it's especially with Rock Band, that's got to be so hard to pull off with all the equipment you have to sell, and it's so expensive. Especially, could you imagine how expensive that full kit would be today? You know, that'd be insane. It's just, I just don't think that it's feasible, which is unfortunate because it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, now it almost seems like a lot of that stuff has a big like underground quote unquote kind of scene, because nowadays there's so many like third party random little startup companies that'll just make like off-brand Guitar Hero guitars, and you have Frets on Fire and stuff like that nowadays, which takes like the Guitar Hero Rock Band sort of formula but like makes it so like people can make like basically any song you want to out of it. So yeah, it's one of those things that definitely came and went as a phenomena, but has like that cool little underground scene of people that are still playing it to this day.
Mm-hmm.
I see streamers all the time randomly playing Guitar Hero who are just like fucking gods at it, who are just, they're like shredding these like crazy songs on like expert mode while like talking to chat and stuff. So it's kind of cool that like there's still that little piece of that that's still there,
Yeah, man, that's awesome.
That is cool. Yeah, I think it's a good point too that you made earlier about the reason why it must be hard to sell all that stuff. But man, this is such a fun way to hang out with friends for a night, or family.
Yeah.
M Truck 78. He wrote in, I won't go overboard because I've written in about it plenty of times already. But Halo 3, ODST, and Halo Reach changed the way I understood Halo. Amazing games on an amazing console. That was actually Miles, I believe.
That was actually, I was going to say. Sorry about that.
That's all good. I was like, I know Miles has written in about Halo Reach a lot. So, but that was Miles. Yeah, I mean, Halo obviously is Xbox, is the OG Xbox, is the 360. It really kind of encapsulated everything about it and was one of the main reasons it was successful. Endless Halo memories, I mean, we talked about this a lot with our how long we played episode, where we discussed the fact that it's probably incalculable how much time we spent like in the Halo franchise throughout those years. And then finally, Craig's Game Room wrote in, I was more of a Wii guy myself, but want to give a shout out to the Xbox Live Arcade. Loved weird little indie games like I Made a Game with Zombies in it. In retrospect, definitely a precursor to Vampire Survivors. Also have to mention two of my most played games on the 360, Halo 3 and Skyrim. I'd bet 80% of 360 owners also sunk the most time into those games as well.
Yeah,
probably a safe bet. Probably a safe bet.
Yeah.
Any
100%.
Yeah, I mean, I let's talk about something else here that this reminds me of. This is also the era where it was another theme that was really, really big deal back then and has completely kind of disappeared, was the era of the midnight release.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And I think that might be because this was the last console that was mostly physical games still. Games were on the disc.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, with Xbox One and PS4 was kind of the transition to mostly digital downloads, and that just kind of messed with GameStop and all of these other stores that were trying to sell games where they don't have to go out; they can just preload it and have it on their systems ready to play right at midnight. They don't have to go through all of the nonsense, quote unquote. I went to so many midnight releases during the 360 era, including a lot that were well after, or quite a bit into the generation. Because I remember Kevin and I, when we were living in Phoenix, when we were roommates in Phoenix, we went to the Assassin's Creed 3 midnight release. We went to the Mass Effect 3 midnight release. We went to at least one other, but of course the Halo 3 as well. That was a huge one. Skyrim. Kevin and I went to the Skyrim release. Yep. I mean, that was, man, he dropped me off. I had the freaking, I don't think I have it in here. I had the big box. I got the collector's edition that came with Alduin on the statue, and it came in this huge box, and I was sitting in the passenger seat of Kevin's car with that on my lap, just like,
yeah.
And he drove me home and dropped me off at midnight, and I played all the way through.
Oh yeah.
What are some of your favorite midnight release memories? Did you guys do a lot of that?
Tons.
Yeah, I did. I definitely did Halo 3. Definitely was there for that.
That was.
I think the whole world was at that point.
Yeah. Oh man, I was trying to think of
your most memorable midnight releases.
Yeah, I was gonna say Skyrim is probably the one that's the most memorable for me. I just remember getting into Oblivion like kind of late, like in sort of like maybe the year before Skyrim was coming out. One of our friends, Paul, got me into it. So I remember he got me into Oblivion, and I remember I would play through it when I would go over to his dad's house and hang out with him. And that was a really memorable one for me. I remember this was kind of at the end of the lifespan. So I think this might have been one of the last midnight releases I ever went to, but I was trying to think of the last one I went to, and I think it either had to have been, I want to say GTA 5 or um, GTA 5 or like Final Fantasy 15, I think it was, were the last midnight releases I ever went to. And those were a little bit, once we start talking about like the Xbox One and PS4, but and I wasn't even like, I'm not even that big of a GTA fan. I remember my friend at the time was like, he was a big GTA fan, and he was like, "Hey, I don't have anybody to like go with me to this midnight release for GTA 5. Do you want to just like tag along?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, sure, why not?" So
Yeah,
I just like went and like hung out with him in line. Yeah,
that was always fun, to see all you get like the numbers,
I just liked talking to people in line. That was the fun part.
Talking games. I went to to think about it now, I think I went to a lot of. I went to the Gears 3 midnight release. I probably went to like a dozen of them. I think one of the ones I remember the most was not a midnight release, but it was like a day of release. This is going to bring my mom back into it. So this is speaking of Oblivion. When Oblivion came out, I faked sick on the release date, and my mom was like not cool with me doing that. And that seemed to be maybe the only time in my entire that I can ever remember. Kind of like, it was weird. It was like an unspoken thing where it was like, okay, so you're sick, and I was like, yeah, but also.
But also
this game that I've been waiting for in what feels like my entire life, because I got really into Morrowind on the original Xbox. I was not good at it. I didn't make it very far, but I was obsessed with Morrowind. I kind of treated it like I've been treating Total War lately, where I loved creating new characters, playing for the first few hours, exploring the area. Then I would get kind of stuck I just wasn't quite old enough to just really stick with it, it felt like. But I just loved the world. I loved the music. I was so obsessed with the music in Morrowind, and finding armors, and my friends would show me their characters and like all the cool stuff they had. And I just, and when they announced Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion and it was in Game Informer, I just remember just being like, oh my God, it's just, this looks so beautiful. It looks so much better than Morrowind graphically. I was just so excited, and she took me to GameStop that morning. I was sick and didn't go to school because it's Tuesday. All these games dropped on Tuesday back then. I don't know what the fuck was with that? But she drove me down there, and she's like, "Well, you can't come in to the GameStop because you're sick. And I'm gonna go get it for you." It's like, oh my God, okay. So I guess we're just really gonna like commit to this bit then, right? And she went in there and got it for me. She was like the only woman in there. She said that like, and they were all just like these kind of like geeky guys in there. And I was like, yeah, sounds about right.
The GameStop guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, plus the people there to pick up Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion on the day of release.
Release day, yeah.
And we went home and I played it like all day long. I normally couldn't get away with that necessarily, but every now and then, you just get one of these moments. That's 360, man. So yeah, so that was my getting Oblivion moment. I mean, I even remember like I created a dark elf because I liked Morrowind so much and the dark elves, and that was my first character. Just cool stuff. Let's kind of we'll close it out with let's talk about some of our favorite games, and of course we got to hit on like some stuff like Red Rings, right? That's a huge part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll use the Red Rings to kind of jump into like the 360 sort of lasting legacy. We'll kind of close on what it did for the industry, positively and negatively, and just what it kind of means to us at the end. Because I do think that it's definitely the most important console in my life personally. But let's talk about the games. So many games. We've already talked about a few of them. Just whatever you want, any game you want, any series you want. What are some of your? Obviously, we've discussed Halo 3 already a little bit. That's such a big one. What are maybe there's some like lesser acclaimed games that you love, or just ones we haven't touched on? Like Taylor, what are a few titles from that era that you really associate with the 360 and beloved?
Yeah, I mean, I know this is a game that means a lot to all of us here, but Dead Space, I think 1 and 2 were really, really big games for me then.
Oh yeah.
And honestly, Dead Space was kind of the catalyst that helped me go back and get into a lot of like horror games, like even previous to that. Like that's kind of like where my love of like Resident Evil kind of started. And Dead Space was kind of the thing that like got me to go back and play some of those things too, and put a lot of that stuff on my radar. So I credit that game and that series on the 360 as being the thing that like really got me into horror games. Dante's Inferno is kind of a hidden gem that I feel like
good poll.
Not a lot of people know about. It's a really, really cool, like, I forget what it was called, like the comedy of, it's like Dante Alighieri, like that, like Seven Circles of Hell type thing. You play, it's almost like a God of War, like an original God of War style game where it's like a spectacle fighter or like a character action game where you go through the Seven Circles of Hell and like beat demons and stuff to like get your wife back. It's a really, really cool game. I feel like not a lot of people.
It's funny that it was made by the same people that made Dead Space. You wouldn't have even thought about that.
You're right. Yeah. Great game. What are some other ones there too? Mass Effect is kind of a new one for me. I know that I recently played through those ones too, but that's kind of like a series I wish I could have seen through the lens of somebody who was, really big into the 360 at the time. Always love hearing about people talk about playing those games as they release, and then like how the third one came out, and whether or not you really liked the ending or you hated the ending. It kind of seemed like it was a polarizing time to be a Mass Effect fan. So that was one I missed out on, but in retrospect, one that was good. The Witcher 2, another one I didn't really get into until I was much older.
Same.
Yeah,
but I missed that one at the time. Excuse me.
It would have been a cool one to also kind of look through the lens of history and experience that. That one I felt like must have been one for like, you had to be a nerd to be into that one. You know what I mean? Like the Witcher series back then too is like definitely not the juggernaut it is now. So no. I had to feel like you were probably like really in the weeds, a nerd, to have known about it then.
Well, it was just kind of weird that it came out on 360 when the first one was only PC. So you couldn't even play the first game if you didn't own a PC. It was kind of a strange. It just kind of felt like their attempt to begin developing console games. 360 just seemed like it was very easy to develop for, and it was a lot of first time console games that were from PC developers that made it onto 360. So I think there's a lot of experimenting, which Witcher 2 kind of felt that way for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Other than that, sports games were big for me at the time too. So the one I always bring up is Madden 10. Of course, we got Larry Fitzgerald on the front cover, which was
Troy Polamalu going
so cool. Yeah, man, I'm kind of surprised they never really did a cover like that again. Too.
I loved
that
cover.
That was cool. Me too, man.
They kind of did it with Brady Mahomes, I feel like.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That one wasn't as good.
No. Madden 10 super special. I always feel like the one, whenever I think of like the 360 era Madden games, I of course always think of Madden 10, but then I always think about the one with Brett Favre on the cover too. I think he was like Green Bay Brett Favre. I want to say that was 13, or no, 13 might have been Drew Brees.
I think of 07 with Sean Alexander.
Oh yeah. That was my first Madden ever.
Yeah.
The one with Sean on it.
Yeah, the sports games
so cool.
Yeah.
Sports games in that era were awesome.
They're at their peak.
Yeah, I think so. Let's see. I had a bunch of them written. I mean, Oblivion and Skyrim are really big too. Those are the ones I could think of just off the top of my head. Tales of Vesperia, it's a good one. JRPG, back when Xbox gave a shit about having Japanese games on their console.
There was a lot. There was a lot on the 360. They tried really hard to make that a thing.
They were good games too. Like that's the crazy part. Like you maybe had one of them, like The Last Remnant or something, that like nobody really got into or played too much. But like Tales of Vesperia, banger of a game. Blue Dragon, banger of a game. Like that's kind of one thing I like that makes me sad about Xbox nowadays, and even getting into like the Xbox One era, is the lack of JRPG support. Lost Odyssey, another great game. Basically the Final Fantasy 13 that should have been. Great game. I didn't beat it, but I played through that one like a couple years back, actually pretty recently, and it's such a good game. So definitely miss when Xbox cared about Japanese role-playing games.
Yeah, that fell off. That fell off pretty quick.
Oh boy,
Kyle, do you have any that kind of? I mean, they can be obvious too. They
I
don't
got
have
quite
to be
a list. No, I'm gonna pull some out of the weeds here and see what you guys think about this.
Yeah.
When I think of 360, I think of games like Need for Speed, Most Wanted, and Carbon. Those are two of my favorite. I don't even really like. I'm gonna be honest. I don't really like racing games, and I never really have. But Need for Speed had that like kind of. There's something about that street element that I thought was really cool. And then there's the RPG side of it, kind of where you customize your vehicle, and you kind of. What I really liked about Carbon a lot that I still remember to this day is being able to take like specific parts, like one of the fenders, and like actually utilizing your sticks to like kind of tweak it and bend it a certain way and kind of shape it yourself. So you were like actually taking like a paintbrush essentially to your car and like shaping it the way you wanted it to shape within reason. Of course, there were, but it was just really cool to see how much you could really customize your vehicle. So I really loved that. A very fond memory of mine. This is before I got the 360 myself. Watching my buddy Jared play Prey years and years ago. Really cool game. Never played it myself because I couldn't really get in, scary games didn't really click for me yet, but I loved watching somebody else do it. And then of course, I definitely have one. Okay, this is a deep cut, but Crackdown was a lot of fun.
Crackdown, yeah.
Crackdown was sick, man. Yeah.
That's a cool one.
Destructible environments. That was such a cool, unique thing. That's a good pull.
Great movement too. I remember you could like jump super far and like
it was such a
impact when you hit the ground.
Yeah, it's such a cool game. It's like if the Hulk was like a cop,
right.
That's what it felt like playing that. But yeah, obviously there's the Madden games, that we talked about, before the fall. I really loved playing the Fight Night games, specifically round 3 and round 4 Fight Night games. Those were a lot of fun. I remember one of my birthdays, I had you, Lucas, and Michael all over. We all played Fight Night, and that was the night you threw that candy bar at me.
Get all pissed off.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And Lucas made like the most flaming gay. Our mutual best friend is gay, and he loved to just go over the top with that. In every way he could, and he made the most like flaming gay man that had like a bunch of makeup and lipstick, and his hair was crazy. And he would do all these voices like, "Oh my god, gotcha!" He would do all the, just play it up.
He was incredibly fat too. The character that he created,
he was all big. Yeah.
So funny, dude.
Awesome.
Lucas is always
"Come
just
here,
like,
big boy."
Lucas is always like, how can I do this in a really weird way?
How can I make everyone feel incredibly uncomfortable and yet more comfortable at the same time?
Yeah, we were all dying laughing. Oh man, so much fun. And then just obviously, I personally really love Blitz the League. I think it's a very important game for me throughout my childhood. I really like those games. And then, I think that when we start talking about some of the more special games that really kind of had some pull, obviously you got to talk about the BioShock trilogy. and then Mass Effect trilogy. I mean, we talk about that game way too much, but you know what it is.
It's core, man. It's
yeah. And then you've got games like I'm kind of scrolling through this list of like Metacritic's top games. You know, you've got it's just what a time to be alive, man. Gears of War and Red Dead Redemption and Portal 2.
Dude.
Portal 2.
Red Dead Redemption 1.
A lot of people view Portal 2 as like one of the greatest games ever made.
Absolutely, especially from a design perspective.
Yeah.
Or the orange box in general too. I mean, Valve, that was like their first foray into console games with like the orange box.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. I can go on about the list. Obviously we've got Halo, Rock Band, Guitar Hero. We've all talked about it. Another game I really like is LA Noire as well. That I really
LA Noire was sick.
Dude, LA Noire was awesome.
Mm-hmm. That was a great one.
I would love another game in that same vein. Doesn't even have to be made by Rockstar, but I think it'd be cool to have another like 1940s, 1950s, whatever that is, aesthetic.
I just really love the like main character is like a detective type role. I know we talked about it before, but like I definitely want a game like that because that's what I really loved about LA Noire. Obviously, it had its major flaws, but that was really fun.
Yeah, a lot of great polls there.
Fallout at the time too.
Yeah,
also big.
Fallout 3 was huge. Fallout 3 was huge. That was 2008, man. Fallout was like Fallout 3, Dead Space. God, there's a couple other huge games in 2008 that came out in that year. It was just a nuts
Dragon Age
year. Yeah,
Dragon Age,
yep, Dragon Age. That might have been 09, I think. Maybe I don't know.
Around that time.
They're all in that. Yeah, I mean, it's just like every year just had these massive. One for me that
tentpole releases
that really stood out. A couple that are still kind of that not multiplayer like online, but playing with friends. The reboot of Mortal Kombat was like, you want to talk
11?
about tentpole?
Or no, not 11.
It was 9 officially, but it was just called Mortal Kombat, and it was the first fighting game in a long time I'd played that had like a cutscenes, like a narrative that you played through, and it retold the original story. So it was like a reboot of the whole franchise, and it was NetherRealm's first game. Because there was that. The last game was Mortal Kombat Armageddon, made by Midway, and then they like crashed out. That company collapsed. I think they went bankrupt, and no one really knew what was going to happen with the IP. And then WB got Ed Boon and some of the original creators of Mortal Kombat, and they created NetherRealm Studios, and they made Mortal Kombat, and it was like the first game story all over again. And it was all the classic characters, and it was like, I was never really a fighting game guy, but I got so into that and played that with Kevin and you and Jeff. Yeah. Jeff would just shit all over
dominate
us. So good. He was so good at that game. The only way I could ever beat him was with Cyrax and doing all my little bombs and nets and traps and play super defensively. And he'd get really pissed off because it's like the only way I could ever beat him was with that character. And just so much local multiplayer, right? That Mortal Kombat. When they had the King of the Hill mode too, where you had all your different. If you could go online and play with friends, you could get like a lobby of friends, and you'd watch, and the person that would win would stay on, and the next person would come up, and you'd all be able to talk together at the same time.
Yeah,
very cool.
Another one that was similar to that, like so many hours spent on the couch with others. Diablo 3.
Oh boy,
yeah,
such a good 360 game. These are kind of late, like this is late 360. This is like 2012, 2013, like toward the end,
right on the cusp. Yeah,
the very end of the console. But there's just so many. The birth of and evolution of the Assassin's Creed franchise, which is I'm still playing to this day, came out at that. I mean, it just revolutionary, man. Like so many games on this console in this era. I know we're not even talking about the PS3 stuff, right? The Uncharted's and all that. It's like all of that, and Last of Us and all these games that came out. It's like so many great games in this time. The 360, it just nonstop, just nonstop. Like just I've just been scrolling through games and just been getting hit left and right. Like
I know,
yeah,
I know, dude.
Oh fuck,
I'm pretty deep in this.
It's crazy just how many games came out for it. It was like I just can't believe it looking at it, and so many great ones, like really truly
Mafia games.
Yeah. The OG Mafia came out on the original Xbox, and then after that, yeah, the Mafia 2 was 360. 2010 is when that Mafia 2 came out. The reboot of Tomb Raider for the first one came out on the 360. That was really great. Kind of again.
I remember playing it on the 360, but like feeling dirty about it because it's such a PlayStation IP to me that I was.
Isn't
like,
that strange? Yeah, that was weird. That is weird now. And now that I think back on it, I'm like, oh man, maybe I should go back and play those more on PlayStation.
Oh, the Force Unleashed.
Yeah, Star Wars Force Unleashed.
Yeah.
Yep. That had. I remember being blown away by the like twist. Not really even the twist, but just sort of like the impact of that story and how it affected New Hope. Of course, it's scrapped now; it doesn't count. But
how about that? Really cool. That you remember that one year we all really got into the World Cup, man, and that they released that FIFA World Cup game.
Yeah. That was what 2010. That was like right before I moved, and we had that huge. We got super into the World Cup. That like got me into the World Cup. I don't really watch soccer too much outside of that, but I love the World Cup.
Yeah.
We had so much fun with that. We would all we would do like a tournament, and everyone had their own. Like everyone was picking the country that their, ancestry is from, or they thought it was from.
Yeah.
That's a little bit of a nod toward one of our friends who lived his entire life being like, I'm Italian, and being like, this pasta's from this part of Italy and all that. And then he did the DNA thing and he's like Jewish. Like
not Italian.
He was like 0%. 0%. Yeah, he's like Hebrew or like Yeah. Just really funny. Just like it was like his whole identity there for a little while when we were in high school. Which I'm not even giving him like talking shit because I was the same way. I got really into all that at the same time. So I was always playing as England, and it was fun. It was awesome. It was such a great time. Yeah, I just again kind of keep coming back to that. Like, really, even though there was tons of wonderful single player games that I probably spent the majority of time playing. Very much the kind of the last bastion of true couch multiplayer.
Yeah.
I feel like that was really the last time that happened. It's just not really a thing anymore. Doesn't feel like. Yeah. Of course, we briefly mentioned the Gears games. Love Gears of War.
Mm-hmm.
Just love it. We'll definitely play through those at some point for the show. But yeah, Mirror's Edge. That was kind
Mirror's
of a cool.
Edge,
that was one of the first like
Remedy.
Was that Remedy? EA. It was EA. I don't know.
Oh. And Army of Two, I feel like was kind of revolutionary in its own right too.
Oh yeah, Army of Two was awesome. That game was a lot of fun. The Left 4 Dead games.
Yeah.
What a time, man.
Valve.
The Batman games.
A ton of hours in those games. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The Arkham trilogy.
Batman Arkham City. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was I went to all those midnight releases. I remember those ones.
Yeah, this is like, I don't feel like this is just nostalgia. Like I really do think this is like kind of far and away one of the top maybe two generations for video games. Like it's hard to compete. Obviously, you can go back and start talking about the Marios and the Donkey, like Nintendo's kind of blast onto the scene and stranglehold onto gaming and throughout the 90s, and that's obviously.
What about the the arcade era too? Is definitely hard.
Of course, of course. I guess I maybe to be more specific of like home console video gaming, going from sort of like a nerdy niche interest to being in every household in like the world. I mean, whether be it the North America, South America, Europe, Asia, like where it kind of this feels like the time where video gaming surpassed movies and music and books, like numerically, money wise. This is sort of like the mass adoption of video games took place here. It felt like during this era, not just the 360, of course. I mean, the 360 didn't even sell as many copies as the PS3 by the end of it, let alone the Wii, right? I mean, that was the same era. But just think about all three of those together: the Wii, the 360,
all of them,
and and the PS3. Like all of the games that just changed everything for everyone during that era. That was like the switch. It was like, it's no longer like a loser. It's not like what Dungeons and Dragons was in the 1980s, where it's like, my loser son's gonna turn into a Satanist, you know.
In the basement.
It was no, it's not. It was fully like widely socially acceptable post this era. It felt like this is what changed it.
Yeah,
I don't think we had another era too where like the competition between all three entities was really at its strongest too. I feel like in the generations that followed this, obviously Xbox has a huge downfall, but at this time, you know, all three of them were competing and like really like right up against each other. I mean, in terms of like money's made, like Nintendo kind of ran with it at the time, but like just in terms of like the innovation, the great stories that were being told, the great teams that were made, and the games that were birthed, like this was the peak for all three of those brands really being at the top of their game, you know?
And even the way, I couldn't agree more. And even the way that these games were delivered, right? The 360 was the first console with like a fully functional dashboard where you could access music, and you could access, eventually, as they updated it, right? You started getting YouTube and Netflix and streaming and live Xbox Live Arcade and all of these indie games that were released digitally, and just the way that it had a home console where you could change the background, and you had a profile, and you had achievements and a gamer score, and all of these things that we just part of playing video games today. All of that is 360. I mean, trophies were not a thing until achievements were a big deal, and Sony picked that up and was like, let's do our own thing, and they came up with their own version of it. Just all of these things that you just don't even really think about anymore, that are just part of, even long after the Xbox brand is dead and gone, which is probably in about 4 years. That's what the legacy is to me, is like this sort of home console that is on your entertainment system, hooked to your TV, and you pull it up and your friends are on there. You can see what they're playing. You can see who's online. You can jump into a party with them. You can see all the previous games you've played and the tiles there. You can switch over and go to streaming and video, and you can go over. It's like this sort of like all-in-one kind of entertainment system. And the whole thing can be controlled with this wireless controller. You can turn the thing on. You can turn the console on from your wireless controller. You don't have to even hit the button anymore. Just all of these things that just are like go right past you right now. Like, we were all there when that was a brand new, the first time anyone had ever seen that was this console. And I just feel like it doesn't really get that credit. I don't feel like, just we don't really think about it, but all of these small things that just make up what we do pretty much on a daily basis now is all the 360 and eventually the PS3 as well. Just really cool. Just one of those moments, like I said earlier, right? When people got to see the internet and be like, wait, so you just like type words into it and it'll find stuff for you? Like, what do you mean, right? Like these things that we had to learn how to understand and comprehend something. I don't think we'll see. Maybe we'll have that again in our lifetime. I guess AI is kind of like it, but that just has so much like doom attached to it. This was also hopeful and fun, and we were also innocent.
Right. Yeah, it's one of those things too. I know you've talked about this before, Ian, where it's like I feel the same way you do, where I like always hated when I was a kid, and you'd have all the old heads being like, oh yeah, you really weren't, having a good time at the time if you weren't in this era. But like I really do feel that way about like this that generation of gaming. Like if you were not around for it, or you came shortly after that, like I don't know, you definitely missed out on some good shit, man.
Oh yeah, I think specifically with the LAN parties. Yeah, that was at its peak at that time, and not something sadly that we could ever go back to. Society has changed too much now. Obviously, gaming has changed, but yeah, what a great time, man. LAN parties were the peak of gaming, in my opinion. Not to sound like one of those guys, but back in my day,
it's tough. Yeah,
well,
yeah.
I think
not to.
I think the difference is, and maybe they would have made the same argument. Maybe we are those guys, but I think a distinction to be made between that is like these people were telling you that, like, oh, you missed out, whatever. And I'm over here like I'm playing Mass Effect and Oblivion and Skyrim and Assassin's Creed and Red Dead and Gears and all these. And like, what are you? You're missing out, right? I mean, this is incredible stuff. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to say, I mean, just think about it. Those titles were so impactful that they're still trying to recreate them to like find some way to make a profit off it still.
Exactly. I feel like at that time, these games that had come out, Fallouts and Mass, all that stuff, like games stopped changing after that.
Mm-hmm.
We're just getting like prettier versions of the same thing now. Whereas this felt like the last time that things were new and fresh, and now they've just been beaten to death. And it's like Fortnite and all the single player games, even the good ones, are like, yeah, these are good, but these are just like what we were playing. They're just prettier games. That's it. That's all that's changed. There's really like nothing has really has felt like, whoa, this is just maybe a little bit there with the Xbox One, PS4 era there with like, we just played Alien Isolation, right? That was one that felt like kind of a push forward. Shadow of Mordor with that AI, the whole Nemesis system. Like there's a couple things, but again, that's still 2014 we're talking about. And it just feels like since then, that was just sort of it. And for those guys, those old heads were saying that it's like, this stuff just was like 3D was like too hard, It's like, I can't control the camera and the guy, and so they just didn't want to deal with it anymore. Not to say that those games back for them were not incredible, but things were still evolving and changing and innovating, and it just doesn't feel. It's just become so because we were just talking about how this was the transition to everyone's got one. I think. Unfortunately, that's when like private equity and like money first really hit hard, and ever since then it's just kind of destroyed everything. I mean, we still enjoy it, and there's new games that come out that we love, but I don't know. I just feel like a lot of it's just been really kind of destroyed by money, big business. So
true.
I mean, shit, the whole Red Rings thing, right? Like. They were fixing all. I don't think if the same thing happened to Series X that they would do that now. Oh, just mail it to us. We'll fix it to you for free. Here's another one instead. Here's a replacement. Like, what?
Isn't that crazy?
No way. Wow. I mean, I guess if you had your receipt and it was broken at the time, but now it would be like, well, how long have you had it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's past the 90 days. Sorry. That's what I assume it would be. The amount of goodwill that I feel like people were going to stick with Xbox until the whole Xbox One DRM, always online, TV thing happened. I don't think the Red Rings actually convinced anyone to like not buy another Xbox.
No.
Yeah.
Because I would talk to someone on the phone and they would be really sweet and they'd send me a box and I'd put it in there and I'd send it back, and they did right by all their customers.
Yeah.
It was pretty crazy. So I just don't see that happening anymore. And Yeah, it's a bummer.
It is.
But I'm glad we will. I'm so happy that we got to that we are the age that we are, and we had at least we got these memories, right? We're might see the downfall of civilization, but at least we got the 360 era.
Don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened.
Yeah,
right? Yeah, that's a good way to.
It's funny you mentioned the red rings, and I think about it too. It became to a point where it was almost like a badge of honor, or maybe like a rite of passage, to get the red rings, because like it almost became a thing where we would ask each other like, "Have you gotten it yet?" You know.
Yeah.
It was just really cool how that like the initial fear of like everything was crumbling, and then it became a like part of like normal society to where it was like it was bound to happen, and you were just waiting for your friend who hadn't had it happen yet.
Yeah,
this is really cool.
It is funny to think about that. And, you all had your different experiences of like what happened, and then you sent them. When you sent, I got the box, and waiting for it to come back.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I was so excited! Like, go back, Xbox back.
Oh man, cool. It's a great time, man. Great time. Yeah. Looking at scrolling through those games and just thinking about it, and it's just like banger after banger, and not just great games, but like new IPs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, new
constantly.
Stuff, right?
Yeah.
I mean, just got BioWare alone with Mass Effect and Dragon Age and like Assassin's Creed, all these things that are around now that they just keep shitting out because they can't come up with anything different.
Well, even the Dragon Age series alone was kind of like its own IP with each individual game, because they were also kind of different.
So different. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The Dead Space games, like they had so many new games, so many Gears of War, like all the ones we were talking about.
Did we mention Alan Wake?
Alan Wake, dude, no.
Yeah.
Love Alan
BioShock.
Wake.
Yeah.
We talked about the BioShock games a little bit there. Yeah. Just feels like I don't know if it's just, am I just not seeing that, or is that just not a thing anymore? Like there's just hardly any new IP that are.
I think there's
really
a whole lot of new IPs, but yeah, I think it's a bit saturated maybe, or it just doesn't feel like it doesn't.
Things get lost in the shuffle easier. Nowadays too.
They aren't big teams. They're like indie developers or like first time developers with like Expedition 33 or whatever, where it's like. That one broke through, but a lot of them probably we don't even know about them because it's not being made. Back then, it was like EA. I mean, EA was making great games. They were the ones that were trying new things. Ubisoft was trying new things. They were taking risks.
Yeah.
It was worth taking risks. So
Far Cry, they had Far Cry too.
Oh, dude, the Far Cry, the Battlefield was really good.
Maybe that's why
it was fucking sick.
Yeah, I think that kind of like to play into that. That's why things like, Claire Obscure happen, and it's like it just explodes, right? Mm-hmm. Something new, something slightly different. And it didn't have to be a 10 out of 10 game, which some people may say it actually was, but
sure.
It didn't have to be a 10 out of 10 game because it was just kind of so unique,
Yeah.
So maybe that's kind of what I'm saying is that kind of lends to that idea that we're just not getting and granted it is kind of hard to come up with something brand new at this point. There's just so much stuff that's come out, but that's why I'm kind of rooting for the little guys, like Warhorse Studios, like keep doing what you're doing. I hope they never get too big, just kind of stay in the medium spot, and we're gonna always get great games,
Just hope they
be a CD Projekt Red.
Yeah.
That would be sick. Though even they got kind of tainted by the cash.
They did. Yeah. But they felt they felt the heat, and thankfully they made a change. It feels like.
Yeah. Yeah, well they're not publicly traded and owned yet, right? So that's the difference, right? It's like the people who were in charge got greedy. But they're able to learn from their lessons because they're still exposed. They're not publicly traded, so they can't. They're not quite as safe. So there's still that risk factor, and they have to be responsible with it. So, but yeah. Any final thoughts, you guys, before we call it? I mean, I feel like we did a pretty in-depth coverage of everything.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to talk about this console with you guys and Can't believe it's 20 years old. Or
I know.
it'll be 21.
Happy belated birthday.
Happy
What
belated.
about oh god, dude, the GameFly era, man. We didn't even talk about that.
That's true. I barely did that.
That was
I did
big.
that a little bit in like 2010, 2011.
Okay.
I never did it, actually.
That's what makes me when I think of 360, that era, I think of GameFly and having that new game come in the mail, and it was just so exciting to like try out something new. It's kind of like the first version of like Xbox Game Pass, something like that.
Yeah, it really was.
It's true.
Yeah.
It was also the last era of renting video games from
Right.
video
Yeah.
stores.
Yeah.
I mean, the PS3 and the 360, that's when I was working at Hollywood Video. And if there was a new game that was coming out, I would be like, I couldn't get first dibs
Yeah.
because you had to have the customers out there doing it, but I would try. I knew when the person brought it back, I'm like, I'm gonna rent this out now because a customer got it and I'm gonna rent it out for myself now. So
What made me think of that is I saw the Kane and Lynch games.
Oh,
you remember
shit.
those?
I forgot. Oh, yeah. I forgot about those.
And then I was thinking, I'm like, when did I play that? I'm like, oh shit, I got that on GameFly one time because it's just super cheap,
That's funny. Yeah, GameFly, man. Crazy.
What
Wonder what they're doing.
Same
not
same
around
thing as
anymore, right?
Redbox. They finally got rid of the one nearby where I live. I'm like, man, they still got that Redbox sitting over
Let's
there.
see what they do. Gamefly.com. What is like unlimited game and movie rentals?
I'm surprised they're still around.
They're still doing
They're
it,
still
huh?
around. Yeah. We rush your games to you, free shipping, swap games anytime. Yeah.
Wow, there's still people ordering through here. How much is it?
That's crazy.
$20 a month. Hey man, that's better than Game Pass. Let's go.
It is now.
Yeah, right. As of recent.
They do movies too. What the fuck?
Damn. Honestly, not bad.
That's crazy.
That is absolutely insane.
All of your gaming needs. So controllers, I guess, and headsets, consoles.
Wow.
Oh, you can buy it on there. Okay, well, whoop-de-doo. Not that it would make sense to rent a console.
Interesting.
I couldn't imagine.
Gamefly's still kicking.
Gamefly
The
still
shambling
exists.
corpse of Gamefly. Still
Not something I thought I was going to be looking up tonight.
They're that's not their normal logo, by the way. That's different, I feel like.
Oh no, that's a newfangled
But that
logo for sure.
seeing that packaging of just the little square just big enough for the disc, that brings me back, man.
They got to stay fresh, man.
Yeah. That's so funny.
That's great. No fun. All right, guys. I think that's going to do it for us this evening. But
Good stuff.
to everybody listening, thank you for celebrating with us. Hopefully we brought back some good memories for you, or maybe if you weren't a 360 person, maybe I don't know, maybe you'll go try some of those games, or it'll jog your memory. But it felt really good. It kind of like made me want to get like it kind of going back and talking about all that's like, all right, I'm excited to start playing some games again. Like
Yeah.
I've been playing here and there, but I haven't really been playing a lot. And just like looking at all these games and everything, it's just like, man, I don't want to forget the fun, right? Like sometimes you just sort of like, I just do this because I do it. It's just like a pastime. And I don't know. I feel like it's cool to go back and be like, I love this shit.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah. Any final thoughts, gentlemen? Anything?
No.
No, man, this is a lot of fun just strolling back
Yeah.
through memory lane, man, just thinking about how good of a time it was to just get
It really was.
that was kind of the height of, at least in my life, of just getting completely lost in a game and just spending an entire day just wasting away.
Summers off.
Yeah.
Right. All that. Insane. Yeah, it really is crazy. And, 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 and also sort of like because it was such a long generation, the beginning of it was like I hadn't worked yet, and my parents still had to like buy me a game. And then by the end of the generation, I was working and buying my own games, all within the 360s.
That's crazy.
Span.
Yeah.
You know, I could walk into GameStop and reserve it myself and pay and hand the cash over. You know, like crazy, really, really weird to think about that.
Right.
So, anyway, all right. Well, thank you again for listening. We're excited to let you know what our topic will be next week. So stay tuned for that. And hopefully Kyle and I are still emotionally intact by the time we see you next week. We'll certainly let you know how we're doing. But until then, I hope you all have a wonderful, safe weekend. Play some games. Play some games from this era. If you have a bunch of if we talked about stuff that you'd never played, write them down. Go see what you might be interested in. Like, go see for yourself how badass this time was, and then write in about it. All right. So enjoy, and we will see you all next week. Later.
See you guys. Stay safe.
Later, guys.